Okay, let's have a serious talk about why I chose Amazon as my platform. It wasn't by accident, and it wasn't because I got caught up in all the hype. I've been in business for almost 40 years, and I advise business owners both nationally and globally in how they can build their businesses, both online businesses and brick and mortar businesses. So, as I started on Amazon as a hobby in about 1998, it never really occurred to me that it would be anything but a hobby. At that time, no one knew what e-commerce was really going to grow into. But now it's turned into this huge 300-pound gorilla that you just can't escape. Our future is going to be more online than it will be brick and mortar. We can clearly see the handwriting on the wall at this point in time. And I consider myself very fortunate to have been a part of the largest consumer platform in the world for online merchandising, Amazon. I have sold and still sell on Amazon using almost every available option they have. I do FBM, I do Amazon affiliate. Amazon essentially represents what I consider and what I describe to my friends as being the gold rush of our time. The only difference here is I don't expect Amazon to fade away in the same way that gold disappeared from California in the 1800s. I believe Amazon has decades of growth ahead of it, and I intend to grow with it. To date, I have sold something in the neighborhood of $50 million on Amazon, and that is increasing at a rapid rate every year. I've got it down to a science. I can scale seemingly at will. I'm not having problems generating 100% year-over-year gains if I choose to. It has done everything I wanted it to do in terms of affording me the income and the flexibility to basically live anywhere in the world I wanted to live. I can do my business sitting on a beach in Thailand, or I can do my business sitting in my office in the United States. It really doesn't matter. The ability to scale, to order products in bulk, either domestically or from China or Mexico or from some other countries that I do business with, makes it very easy for me to generate huge amounts of business or to support huge amounts of business without a huge investment of my time. When you see other people out here talking about doing $1 million with retail arbitrage, that would involve them wandering up and down the clearance aisles at Target and Walmart 8 hours a day, 7 days a week in order to maintain stocking levels. I can make one phone call and procure multiple container loads of a product or products if that's ever necessary. My time is valuable, and this is the best use of my time. It's an incredibly efficient process once you learn the steps. In 2021, I was given the opportunity to reconsider my investment in Amazon and my enthusiasm for Amazon. I was contacted about possibly selling an account that I had on Amazon. I had no real interest in it, in selling the account. I had never considered selling an account. And I told them, go ahead and send me your information. I'm going on vacation, and I will take a look at it when I get back. Well, 6 weeks later, I get back into the country. I look at their offer, and I accepted it. It was a high seven-figure offer for a non-branded account on Amazon. I knew other people that had sold their accounts, but usually for lower amounts, smaller amounts. But this was a $10 million a year account, and they basically offered me about 4 years of actual bottom line income, all in one shot. And that was just too good of an opportunity to turn down. But that's also an opportunity that comes with the Amazon experience. If you build a successful account, even if it's unbranded, there are people out there that would prefer to buy a successful account and work within the structure that you've created than to start from scratch. So should you find yourself selling on Amazon, and a year or 2 years down the road you decide that you want to move on to something else, or that Amazon is just not for you for whatever reason, it's likely you've created an asset that has value that you can then sell and walk away with a tidy sum in many cases. That's not something you can do typically with Shopify or with some of the other e-commerce platforms that are out there. Even if they do afford you the opportunity to make good money, they don't give you that opportunity to actually sell a business, much like you would sell a physical brick and mortar store if you ever decided that you wanted to get away from that business. That's unique to Amazon, and that factored into my consideration. But the point I want to make is that when I sold that account, the question was whether or not I would continue selling. There were a number of places, a number of destinations around the world that were calling my name. Myself, while it's great I can work from any beach in the world, what would be even better is just not to work from any beach in the world. To just sit out there and watch the seagulls and drink margaritas and enjoy the rest of my life. But I found after a few months that I really missed it. I had a few projects that were on the table. I was launching 2 brands, one a supplement brand and the other one a sporting goods brand, and everything was done to support the launch of those 2 brands, and I wanted to at least finish that process and see where it took me. So in late 2021 I re-entered the Amazon marketplace by launching my 2 brands. And what's amazing to me is that less than 2 years later, I have actually already sold one of those brands, the sporting good product, for a substantial amount of money. I was in the right place at the right time. I had a product that was in a market niche that was just exploding, and I had a major label come in and ask if they could buy me out. Again, not solicited on my part, but certainly when an offer was made that was generous, I decided to run with it. I took it. So now I'm in the process of launching yet another brand. And this may be my new business model going forward because I really enjoy the launch process. I'm always looking for new ideas. I'm always looking for new markets. And it's something that I do instinctively. So this may be my new business model for Amazon, not to create an account and grow an account, but just to create an account around a brand and grow that brand until it gets the attention of a bigger fish, and then I'll allow myself to be bought out. It's a lot of fun. It's exciting because you're seeing just massive levels of growth if you're doing everything right. If you get the formula right, you're seeing month over month doubling in sales sometimes, and it's just a very exciting process to be a part of. And that's a process that I enjoy teaching my students. I'm using the same techniques for myself that I employ when I'm working with 8- and 9-figure brands, managing their brands. And I'm using a process that is not difficult. And once you have a few successful products that become your core base of products, it becomes very easy to scale. And both scale in terms of growing your sales internally with just those products, but also in terms of growing your sales by adding additional products or growing your sales by going to additional markets. I break all that down in my course. I show you step by step how to do it. I show you how the big brands do it. And there's nothing that keeps an individual like myself or like you from finding a product and growing it to just an incredible level of sales, just one product. Amazon gives you access to a global marketplace, and you absolutely cannot underestimate the potential that a successful product may offer you. So anyway, just to summarize, the reason I chose Amazon and chose to come back to Amazon, again, is the platform. Amazon does everything they can to keep the marketplace fair. There are always things that I think they can do better, but for the most part, they really want a fair marketplace. They want it to be fair to the sellers. They want it to be fair to the buyers. In the process of selling on Amazon, you will learn skills that are marketable just themselves. So again, 2 or 3 years down the road, should you decide that you don't want to do Amazon anymore, by that point you'll probably have a fairly decent understanding of shipping practices and policies. You'll have a fairly decent understanding of the best practices as it pertains to product selection, product packaging, product sourcing, product merchandising and marketing. You'll find that you've developed a skill set that's quite valuable in the brick and mortar three-dimensional world, and that's not to be underestimated. And then you will also find that your store probably has value that can be extracted by selling your store. Again, that's not something that other e-commerce platforms typically allow for. So between the fairness of the platform, the scalability of the platform, and the skills and the exit money that's available should you decide to leave the platform, this is a real business. This is not a hobby. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is something that I anticipate doing for the next 20 years. If you haven't done so already, please click like and subscribe. I'd love to have you follow my videos, and we'll see about growing our next business together.